Well, a warm welcome to all our viewers. You're watching Showtime. I'm Aaron Lyngdoh. Well, we reckon Showtime wouldn't be complete without an episode on music. Hence, this week we shift our focus to music. Music with a cause, to be precise. Let's meet my guests. Well, say hello to the curator and director behind the music video, Through Her Eyes. Meet the 24-year-old singer-songwriter from Nagaland with her debut single, Be Okay. And the jazz music artist and pianist whose track Harry is creating ripples for all the right reasons. Well, my first guest is an independent artist, the curator and director behind the music video Through Her Eyes, featuring 9 women artists from Northeast India, including herself, to create a rich musical tapestry in 6 different languages. Now, the track pays tribute to nature and the environment, while presenting Anungla Zoe Longkumer. So, Anungla, you created and directed the music video. Tell us a little bit about the conceptualization stages.
Thank you for inviting me, Aaron. Actually, this music video happened quite spontaneously. It wasn't like, come on, let's make a music video and get to it. I need to tell you the backstory. Actually, what happened was in 2020, Zuban Publishing House had decided to go online with all their Cultures of Peace events. So that year the theme was women in music, and so they had asked me to curate it, and so that's what I did. Curated some webinars, some podcasts, and also sorted out some essays about women in music. And then one of the webinars, I had invited all these ladies, to come and just participate and talk about their place in the music industry here. And so during one of the recce calls, the idea was mooted, to do a song together. And so all this happened in 2020. And then in 2021, I suddenly got a surprise call from Zuban saying that, they really liked the idea of doing a song together with all these ladies. And so they had, actually managed to speak with Heinrich Böll Stiftung, and we just went ahead with it. So it was kind of a spontaneous thing, So when we initially, my proposal to Zuban was, because of just to make it very efficient, the proposal was to actually have a songwriter write the song and then give each of the artists their parts to perform, and then that would be that one song. So that was the idea given to Zuban, and they agreed on it. But somehow, right from the beginning, I thought, no, it just didn't feel right, because the song would have had to be written in English, and so many of the artists actually perform in their vernacular. Like Manka, she's a folk artist from Manipur. Even the Tetsiro sisters, they sing in their Chokri Naga language and so on. And so I then decided, let's just have everyone contribute a verse each, in the way that was comfortable for them. And so I put the idea across to all the artists, and they were quite happy. Actually, they were quite happy. We just needed to stick to the theme of the Cultures of Peace project for this year, which was women, ecology, and performing arts. And so there was no big concept, to begin with. We just went with the flow, and I think it was the process that was the main important thing in the song. But when it came to the video, yes, we did have a certain idea. Like basically, one was that it had to be shot outdoors, out in nature somewhere, as green as was possible. Another thing is we also put together a small color story because we didn't want colors of dresses to clash, and we wanted it to be harmonious because it's one song that we're all part of.
Before we dive into the details of the track, tell us more of yourself.
Well, Aaron, I always feel uncomfortable describing myself because I really just don't like being, put in a box. And that's why I just pursue a lot of the things that I'm interested in, I don't stick to one thing. So you'll see me, uh, you know, uh, engaged in, things to do with books and writing, or with music, or with filmmaking, or research in, in the traditional arts and paper making and so on. So yeah, I just try to stay open. I try to stay open. I try to listen to my intuition. And most of all, actually, I am interested in people. So I always try to maintain a good relation with all the people that I meet. Yeah.
So, what is the underlining message behind Through Her Eyes?
The main message that we are carrying in our song is our collective call, for mindfulness towards our attitudes to Mother Nature. And we are not saying, you should do this or you should do that, or things like that. We are just through all our verses, our individual verses, we're just trying to draw attention, to the essence of love that is in nature, and our the main thing that we're trying to do is see how beautiful, how nurturing, how supportive, and like how much a big part of nature we are. Besides that, I think, as the title suggests, it's actually many layered. So we are not just saying, look through the eyes of Mother Nature, but we are also saying, in a very subtle way, this song is, look through each of our artists' eyes, like this is our perspective on Mother Nature. Let's embrace everything in Mother Nature because it's also part of us. So if we are harming Mother Nature, we are also harming ourselves.
All right, now let me just drift the topic a little bit here. Now, as an advocate of the wasteless, sustainable way of living, how do you envision people embracing a similar lifestyle without even sounding cliche?
Mm-hmm. So, Aaron, actually, over the years, I've come to learn so much, as the rest of the world, I think, about the havoc that we are wreaking, on this one home that we have, the only home that we have, to live in. And so I think what I've done is that I've just developed certain habits, uh, just small habits that that actually bring a lot of peace of mind, so I will refuse plastics, I will carry my own shopping bag, just small things like this. Okay, how do I envision the whole world, living a wasteless, sustainable lifestyle? I would just say, I think if each one of us participated in the change, and I think that's the most important thing, just to participate in the change, because mostly I find people are just waiting for the other person to bring about the change, waiting for the other person to clean up after themselves, etc. So I would just say, just participate in the change. And I know it's uncomfortable. Many times it's uncomfortable, but in this case, I think we really, really need to be mindful of, every little action. So I think if everyone participated in the change, then change can happen. Mm.
So, 9 female artists, 6 different languages. Now, how difficult or how easy it was for the team to blend in those harmonies?
Mm. I think first and foremost, the very fact that we were all women artists, and also that we were on the platform of, like Zuban, which is a feminist publishing house, just made everything very, very comfortable, actually. Didn't really think that there was any discord or conflict anywhere. In fact, all of our interactions with each other was in such a gentle and respectful manner. So I think it was just the idea that we were all women and on this platform, uh, just I think made us all very relaxed.
Well, I did some research. In a piece by the Assam Tribune, you mentioned doing everything pandemic style. What does that mean?
Yeah, I actually don't know why I said that, but I think what I meant was like since the pandemic happened, you know, since COVID hit us, everyone has been like interacting over Zoom. So that's what we were doing. We were having all our meetings over Zoom for one thing. Another thing is like we were so restricted, like we were restricted and confined to where we all were. And there was no chance even to say like, okay, let's meet in one place and, work this thing out or take the video together, etc. So, and also, moreover, we were all going through lockdowns and all the COVID restrictions, and so we all had to find our own ways, to be able to go outdoors and find the good time, to shoot. And also the fact that all the restrictions were like not allowed to be in crowds or in places where a lot of people gather. So we had to keep all that in mind.
From the spectacle of an independent artist, what are some of the obstacles you reckon needs immediate attention?
Yeah, as an independent artist, actually, I think the biggest obstacle is one's own attitude. It's like um it's kind of hard to stay motivated. So if you're an independent artist and you're just you don't have a regular job. You just do projects as they come along. So if you don't have a regular job, you don't really have a regular routine, like a daily routine. So it's for me, I just speak for myself. It's like sometimes hard to stay motivated and say, okay, now let's get up and let's initiate some work here, or try and try and stay inspired. And also another thing is like getting over the fear and anxiety of not having a regular income coming in. So it's so I think a lot of it is actually just working on yourself, developing a certain kind of a discipline where you do stick to certain routines, get things, whatever things need to be done, just like daily chores and all, just get it over and done with. And because when you live without a time frame, you can just keep putting things off.
Now, walk us through the fun part making the video.
Um, I think for me, everything was fun, the whole process from the beginning, because uh, I love it. I love doing creative activities, and also engaging with artists. And I think that's it, actually. Like the best part, the most fun part about being an artist or in a creative space, are engaging with other creatives, the company of artists is always so fun.
So, what are some of the main takeaways for yourself from the entire experience?
Yeah, it was a huge experience for me. I've never been in a video, or made a video, made a music video, or even collaborated in a song. Because even though I write songs, I just do it for my own therapy. So it's always I keep it personal, you know. So this was a huge chance, to be part of a group, with some really awesome, powerful artists, uh, so yeah, I think the main takeaway would be, the affirmation in my belief in the power of sisterhood, and also in the spirit of collaboration. How we can all, come together, contribute our own little bits, and create something that is so beautiful, and bring it out into the world. Another big takeaway for me is, that boost in my own, the boost in confidence that I that I received, interacting with all the artists and also working with our music producer gave me because at one point I was actually like, I think I won't be a part of it, I'll just oversee everything and not be a part of it. I was kind of almost chickening out. But Masve really, yeah, gave me a lot of confidence and said, it was also crucial that I was a part of it. So, yeah.
And before I let you go, what's next for Anungla?
Well, as a freelance artist and uh, independent artist, I never know what is coming up. I never really know what is coming up. But uh, for next year, there are some projects lined up. Nothing is confirmed, but I am doing some, groundwork for those projects, and fingers crossed that everything works out. So what's coming up next for me? I think just something creative, and I just look forward to it. Even though I don't know what it is, yeah, I really look forward to it. Just looking forward to the unknown, and just hoping that it'll bring in something beautiful, like a creative project that we can participate in. Thank you, Aaron, for the invitation. I also enjoyed talking with you, and thanks for asking all these questions.
Well, Anungla Zoe Longkumer, what a delight to have you with us. And I suggest you guys check out the music video. You can thank me later. We'll take a very quick break here on the show. We will return with the singer-songwriter from Nagaland with her debut single called Be Okay. Now, don't go far. Welcome back to Showtime. My next guest is no stranger to music. With her songwriting, she has always tried to keep it personal, building on themes of love, heartbreak, struggles and hardships, exploration of vulnerability, hope, faith and mental health. Please welcome Sosin Naomi.
Take your time, all you've got left is you, so work it out now. Guess it's so hard, nothing's gonna make sense now. Faith, love, God, friends, family by your side. Gotta get up, gotta give all you've got left. I know you really want to, you're gonna be okay.
So Sosin, what is it like to be singing at 24?
Thank you for having me. Thank you. I would say that I'm truly, truly grateful for doing something that I truly love. It's not something that many people get to do it. So I'm taking every moment to my heart, and I don't want to take anything for granted. And it's something that I don't mind doing it for the rest of my life.
And what paved the way for you to get into singing at such a young age?
I would say it would be my first experience. When my mom put me to the singing competition when I was very young, and I don't know what made me say yes to it. But I think that very experience taught me a lot of things. It made me to push myself, think out of the box, and be more confident in whatever I do. So that kind of paved me the way, and that's how I started singing, going up in the stage and just interact with more people, be more social, I would say. Yeah. So it would be my experience. All thanks to my mom, though.
And how has your experience helped you in songwriting?
With songwriting, it's more of like an emotional, personal connection to me rather than just randomly writing any songs. Although that's great, and many songs have come out great. For me, I think it's I would say that I get to experience so many things through songwriting, and it's not just me writing it, but telling people my story, or my songs having a story to tell to people. And every song that I've written so far, and which are about to release, yet to be released, and they all have a touch of my experience or people's experience. So, it's more of an emotional, more personal connection to me. And I'm grateful that I have, had many experiences all throughout my life, because I always have something to say.
Now, Sosin, what genres of music are you more inclined to?
I grew up singing and listening to country songs. So obviously country. I'm very much into R&B and pop. I love listening to, old rock songs, and not like the hardcore rocks, but soft rocks, I would say, yeah. But I'm open, regardless, I'm open to any kind of genres, and, to sing any type of genres.
So, that brings me to my next question. What is it about music that makes you feel passionate?
I think it's just the very idea, the thought that every person in this world listens to music, have a connection with music, and any song, they tell a story on your behalf. Just that thought makes me feel so passionate about music, and that there is a universal love when it comes to music. Like, we are independently dependent on music, if you get what I'm saying. So that is something, that very thought just makes me feel so passionate. And I'm happy that I get to do it.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your debut single, Be Okay.
Be Okay is a song about hope, finding hope in hard times, and just paving a light in, whenever you're having any hard times. And it's something that I personally was going through, so it was not hard for me to write that song. It just came out all through my experience. So, and it's something that I wanted to share to people. And I'm happy that I got great responses with the song, because many people could relate to my song, and that makes me happy.
Now, have you personally been experiencing any of those issues yourself?
So I actually wrote the song during the pandemic, and it was not just hard for me, but for so many people that I knew, people dealing with loss and grief. So yeah, I just couldn't stop thinking about those people. And personally, for me, I think I was mentally very stressed, and I just poured out everything on songwriting, and just wanting people to, give them the assurance that this is temporary, and our worries and struggles won't last, and someday, slowly it'll just pass by. So that made me to write that song.
Now, some of your major influences include Shania Twain, Her, and John Mayer. Why those artists in particular?
There are so many artists that I look up to, honestly, but these three in particular have a major influence in my life, because growing up, like I said, I was very much into country music. So Shania Twain was the first person that I saw like on TV. I was very young at that time, and my mom, she bought this Shania Twain tour CD, and I watched her performing. It was her live concert, and I watched her performing, and that just blew my mind. And I think that made me to pick up a guitar and start singing. She was one. With John Mayer, I think he is such a great songwriter. There are so many people who have written so many great songs, but with John Mayer in particular, I think just one sentence of his song just makes you think so deep, and it just takes you to somewhere else. And that is the beauty of songwriting, and not everyone has that. So anytime I want to write songs and things that inspire me, I just go to the way he writes songs. I look at his lyrics, and how he composes, comes up with melodies. That And with her, is she, first of all, she's a multi-talented artist. I love her tone, and having, being so into R&B. I think she is one of my major influences. Because of her, I think I got more into R&B songs. So yeah.
Sosin, the music industry can be very competitive. Now, how do you see yourself maneuver through all that madness, and what do you think is required to stay on top of your game?
First of all, I don't see what I'm doing as a competition. If anything, I think my biggest competition has been me. Me trying to push myself to do something that uh, maybe think outside the box, do something outside of bring new challenges in my life. And I think I'm more focused on my work and bringing the best in whatever I do, be it songwriting, be it composition, be it the melodies of the song, and most importantly, working with the right people. I focus on that. And if your intentions are right, then I think you will always, have good songs.
Now, can singers, songwriters, in particular the Northeast, be full-time artists?
I would say it's both a yes and a no. Yes, because there are many artists who are doing it as their full-time job. Although we cannot compare our Indian music industry with the Western because it's very, very different. For us, we're just starting now, when it comes to music labels and coming up with Western songs in particular, being India being a major Bollywood Hindi listeners. So that is quite difficult for us because we have much lesser listeners. And also, I would say that uh, they even with the income, I think it's more of you spending more than getting, because when it comes to tours and concerts, it all have to come from your pocket because there's no one investing in you, no one, having upper hand on you. So it's all through your hard work, which is sometimes, it's very difficult. Unlike in the Western, you have people doing everything for you. So it's not that in our case. So that is difficult for us. Yes, because like I said, it's a yes because people are seeing it as a profession. I think if this question was asked like 5, 10 years back, people would say no. But now, if you see Alobo Naga, if you see Nise Meruno, some of the Naga artists, very popular Naga artists, and so many influential, so many popular artists that's coming up, they are making a name for themselves, and it's like they're known nationwide. So I can say that there is a hope.
Now, you also mentioned in one of your interviews that you're keen on learning to incorporate the Naga folk music into your work. Tell us more about that.
Uh, yes, and I still stand by it. I hope that I get to see that day one day. Well, when it comes to Naga folk music, I think Naga itself is such a rich culture. Nagaland has, very rich culture. And when it comes to language, when it comes to traditions, it's very complex. So I I cannot speak for the entire Naga folk music, but it's something that I'm always open to learn because it's my identity, my culture. So I would surely love to do it. And though I have to dig a little deeper into that because not everybody has that voice to sing folk songs because it's very different from the usual songs that we sing. So there has, a lot of training and research would go under, but it's something that I am very, very much open to it.
Where do you envision yourself, let's say, 5 years from now?
I very much would like to focus on my present because that's what's going to make my future, be it 5 years or 10 years from now. But I think I would like to see myself more successful than what I am now. Yeah, just that. Beyond that, I don't think I would want to, um, put myself in a particular spot because anything might happen anytime. So I focus more on my present, and I've stopped doing that. Thinking about 5 years, 10 years later.
And hypothetical situation, what are some of the obstacles to achieve that success, if you will?
I would say, I think it has always been my intention to always work with the right people, to have good people around you who have good intentions for you. That might not always be the case because you might end up meeting not very good people, that you're working around. So that can happen. Laziness, obviously, you getting sidetracked, you forgetting your goals and ambitions. And I think it's important to always know that what you're doing for and who you're doing for.
So, what are you and your record label working on currently?
Okay, so my record label just released a single called Sway from the band called Project, which is also under Solid Pillow Records. And right after that, we have gone into the planning process of my upcoming song. So my record label, it's based in Delhi, called Solid Pillow Records, and I'm one of the artists, which I'm very grateful for. And our main focus has always been to reach out to those artists who needs a platform, who have actual talent, and it's something that it has been their motto ever since, and focusing on real original talents rather than just people who have already made a name. So it's something that they are planning to bring a change in the Indian music industry, focusing on Western songs and yes, even Hindi.
Now, as you mature, what kind of a singer would you like to classify yourself?
I would say that I would like to remember it as an artist who has uh, made a change in people's life, who is inspired through her songs, help people to move on. That's it. Yeah. I don't think I would like to be classified as any other, but somebody who has made a change in someone's life.
Well, that was the incredible Sosin Naomi. Be OK is out now. You won't want to miss it. It's time now for another short break. I will be back with the very cool Moasanen Jamir, aka Big Mo. Stay right there. Now, welcome back, viewers. My next guest is a musical prodigy. Now, in collaboration with two of his friends, the track entitled Harry was born. We'll say hello to the coolest Moasanen Jamir. So, Moa, who are the geniuses behind the song that you guys like to call Harry?
Thank you so much for having me, sir. So it's a collaboration effort between me, Zerks from Pune, who is a beatboxer, also known as one of the best, I would say, in India by far, and a rapper and lyricist named Slide from Bangalore. Yeah, two of us.
And how did you gentlemen meet?
So first it was me and Zerks that met together online. We've known each other for a few years, and when we came up about the song Harry, we were talking about what to do with the theme of isolation since it was during the pandemic. And after initiating this brainstorming and very crazy idea and experiment we had, that's where we brought Slide in, and it was just three of us in Instagram, back and forward, video calls. That was like 6-7 months ago. That's where it all started.
What sets this group apart from other contemporaries?
Well, for me, I would say I haven't been to a lot of groups, so I don't know the right answer to this. But what I will say is that these artists have been more initiative and more risk taking. I think that's the best way to call it, because there are many things that in hip hop and in my genre, which is jazz, it's very hard to complement these two genres in certain way, but they were the ones that thought that it was the best idea, and then they were the ones that gave me a lot of what can be done and what we need to do. And so it was a very, very creative process, one that I learned a lot.
And what's the song all about?
A lot of the teenagers are like our age and even older, those who are working and those who are studying outside. They're having so much of they have so much of mental stress and problems during this time, and especially for those who are going through financial problems and even problems. They're trying to be passionate on something they're doing, or they're trying to cooperate with work. Everything that just boils down to stress. And so we were just thinking, how would they want to voice their feelings and thoughts? And I think that's the reason why Harry came. Harry was just my idea of our idea, I would say, not my idea, but our idea of a person that gave up on hope. Harry can be you and can be me, can be anyone. We are all Harry because we all have that. We all experience the same. We all experience the same challenges that had happened and is happening in today's world, especially during the pandemic. So we thought that we want to make a song that calms down Harry and tells him that everything will be all right, and that there's nothing for you to look down upon or regret upon, because life moves on. So we just need to keep walking forward and all. And I think that's how Harry became this very big concept of ours, and we all were very happy that it came to life. Echoing chills that always seems to fill all that I feel if he let go. All of the seeds that covered all his needs burned in the fire was once his home. Harry, don't you crawl away. I am here to stay. Just let the sun shine away. All the tears that make you gray. And Harry, don't you crawl away. And I'm here, oh, I'm here to stay. Just let the sun shine away. All the tears that make you gray.
Now, how old are you again?
I'm 19, recently.
Now, why would a 19-year-old want to wrap his mind around issues that society has been grappling for heaven knows how long?
Well, I think we all should talk about it. About things that we feel that many people don't talk about. There's a lot of silences in between. There's a lot of silences in these kind of situations that is happening between you and me and the world. And sometimes even a single voice, even though not millions, a single voice can create a very big ripple effect. And so we just want to be one of those voices that needs to be heard, and to help other voices that needs to be heard as well. And ever since I was a kid, I always want to make sure people smile or people feel happy. And that's why I love performing today, even till now. Now looking back at it, it's, if I tell my younger self about what I'm doing right now, my younger self will be like, "What? Are you joking?" Like, because this fat chubby kid that had a lot of health issues, and then a lot of decisions whether he wants to become this or that, is doing something that he loves, and I'm very proud of my kid self for not giving up on the dream that I'm doing right now. So just want to make everyone happy on that.
Now, have any of the members been, experiencing similar problems?
Yeah, we all are. This song means a lot to us in terms of how the pandemic has impacted us as well. They have their own jobs and they have their own problems, and the thing is, it's very hard for them to let go of some things, especially in the world, especially in the time where we have to stick in our own houses. and let our thoughts be the loudest voices, right? So that's very hard. That's very difficult. But at the same time, also it was also a relief for us. I think a lot when we finished the song, a lot of our perspective and a lot of our confidence has grown even more as time passed by making the song. So yeah, we all have not just all of us, but everyone. I think we even did this hashtag I am Harry. It was based on everyone that had been going through this problem of isolation and being stuck at home and having these mental struggles. Yeah, and I have as well personally. So yeah, that was our aim to speak out about it.
So you started performing when you were like 3 years old. Tell us a little bit about that journey so far.
All right. Long story short, ever since I was a kid, I have two brothers right now, and even they're still here with me. Thank God. Even during this time, Lima and Sinap, Uti Lima, Uti Sinap, and my parents, they have been very supportive of me performing, entertaining, and doing music or dance. I actually started with dance more, I would say. Um, and it was all thanks to Sir Sadbir from Ministry of Dance, along with Sarkash, Pritam, Rhyme, and so many others, Wanti Ma'am. There's just so many people to talk about, Amir, and all these teachers, Richmond as well, yeah, not forgetting that guy, Richmond, rest in peace. All these guys have been, teaching me how to dance and all, but at one point I did feel like I want to do something more than that. And so I carried the dancing roots of the culture, the hip hop culture, and maybe even others like contemporary and urban hip hop, freestyle. All of them I carried with me, and that's when I started to think about how important music is as an element for our expression. So I started to take more on music classes in Alia, and then after that, yeah, and after that, I know that during the pandemic, I had to stop my music classes sadly, but the good thing was I had my brothers with me, as I mentioned.
Now, how would you describe yourself as an artist?
I think I would describe myself as a very expressive artist, one that usually hides a lot and then gives out when given time and given the opportunity. And and I'm an opportunist on stage. I just love taking the stage and trying my best to win the crowd over.
So complete this for me, please. Music industry in Northeast India.
The music industry in Northeast India is improving. I'd like to say that it's improving. I feel, I feel that even though I'm very naive when it comes to this. I don't have a lot of experience, but I will mention that Northeast is improving a lot. It's opening a lot more for variety, for authenticity, and more creativity. That's the best part. I think the pandemic has brought the best out of a lot of Northeasterns when it comes to music and entertainment, and I'm very happy to see that. But there's so much more that we need to improve on. As it is, nothing is complete. Nothing is 100%. Nothing is perfect. So I believe with proper training, with proper exposure, I would say also proper exposure, connections, and better platforming, Northeast India will be up there with the rest, and it still is. It still is every day. We're improving. So yeah.
And my last question for you, Moa. What's next for the trio?
Well, right now, as I mentioned, the music video for Harry will be coming soon. So everyone do stay in touch with us through social medias. And once again, Zerx has an EP or an album. I think best call it an album. Album coming up called Everybody Dies, and he wants you guys to check it out as well. Bro Zerx as well going to work on a beatbox orchestra. I would like to call it, of sounds, and it's going to be one of his albums as well. He didn't mention it, what name he'll give or what title he'll give, so stay tuned for that. And for your boy right here, for this big Mo right here, big Mo right here, I'm actually planning on releasing one song that's coming up. It's regarding about the situation that happened in my hometown, Nagaland.
Well, let this episode remind you of the impact that music has on each one of us. Let your music inspire and encourage you. I will leave you with an exclusive performance by Big Mo. You're in safe hands. Ladies and gents, this is Showtime. I'm Aaron Lyngdoh. Until next week, goodbye.
Echoing chills that always seems to fill all that I fear if he let go. All of the scenes that covered all his needs burned in the fire was once his home. Da, 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 da. Da, ba, da, ba, da, ba, ba, da, ba, da, ba. Harry, don't you crawl away. I am here to stay. Just let the sun shine away all the tears that make you gray. And Harry, don't you crawl away. I'm here, oh, I am here to stay. Just let the sun shine away all the tears that make you gray. And it's a song for NDTV Live, and it's called Life. I'm so alive today to give you this little song of mine to say, let's have a great time. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dee-dee-dee. Everywhere I see, you're always with me.